Hi guys, today I'll be teaching you how to crochet this plumeria flower. Let's begin. So to start our plumeria flower, we need to make our slip knot. So to make a slip knot, just wrap your yarn in an upside down circle like this and grab this end of the yarn and grab the right side of the ring and just put your yarn under like that. It should be looking a little bit like this in a pretzel shape. So all we need to do is just get our pointer finger and our thumb and place it on both ends of the ring. And now you see this dropped over yarn right in the middle over here. You're just going to grab that dropped over yarn and just pull it up like that until you get your slip knot. We have got our slip knot now. Now we can grab our hook. So just get your hook and just insert your hook into that loop. And now the loop is too big for our hook. So what we would do is just grab the shorter piece of the yarn and just tug it until it fits your hook. You shouldn't tug it too tight or else you won't be able to like pull up loops while you're crocheting. But at the same time, it shouldn't be too loose. Now all we need to do is learn how to hold our hook and our yarn. So to hold your hook, I like to hold it in a pencil position like that. And I like to also hold it in a knife grip while like holding the loops on my hook. And to hold your yarn, just grab your working yarn and wrap it around your pinky finger. Then around these two fingers, and then around your pointer finger. You should also just let your yarn just slide through like that, or else it will also be hard to crochet. And also you need to use your middle finger and your thumb to hold the shorter piece of the yarn so that your loop on your hook doesn't just like float around like that. Now that we know how to hold our hook and our yarn and we've got our slip knot, let's move on to the fun part. So to start our plumeria flower, we need to chain 11. So to chain, just face your hook sideways, wrap your yarn over your hook and just slide your hook in a backwards motion until it goes through the loop. Well done, we have just did our first chain and we are going to be going up to 11. So just do that same thing 10 more times. Face your hook sideways, wrap your yarn over your hook and slide your hook in a backwards motion until it goes through the loop. Face your hook sideways, wrap the yarn over your hook and slide your hook in a backwards motion until it goes through that loop. We have now did 3 chains. Face your hook sideways, wrap your yarn over your hook and slide your hook in a backwards motion until it goes through that loop. Face your hook sideways, wrap your yarn over your hook and slide your hook in a backwards motion until it goes through the loop. Also, by the way, when you're crocheting, you should use your pointer finger to just like hold the loop so the loops don't just go off your crochet hook. But anyways, we have did 5 chains in total now and we need to do 6 more. So continue chaining, face your hook sideways, wrap your yarn over your hook and slide your hook in a backwards motion until it goes through the hole. We have now did 10 chains and we need to do one more for it to go up to 11. So face your hook sideways, wrap your yarn over your hook and just slide your hook in a backwards motion until it goes through the hole. And we have successfully chained 11. Well done if it's your first time learning how to do this. Now we are going to be single crocheting all along the foundation chain, so don't worry if you don't know how to do single crochet. I will teach you how to do it. So to start your single crochet, you need to skip one V on your chain. So on your chain you should see like some V's all around it. So the V at the very start of your hook over here, it doesn't count. So this is the first chain over here. So this is one. So that's the one we are going to skip, and we're going to be going into that second one over here. So like over here, you know, there's like a V. There should be a loop farthest away from you. So you're going to insert your hook into that loop. You're going to yarn over and slide your hook through the first loop on your hook. Yarn over again and slide through both loops on your hook. And that is how you do a single crochet. Congratulations if you just learned how to do it. I know this is a really hard thing to learn. So we are going to be continuing single crocheting. Don't get tricked by going into that huge loop over here, because that's the loop you just single crocheted in. So just go into the next one, insert your hook into that loop, yarn over and slide through the first loop on your hook, yarn over again and slide through the last two loops. We have now did 2 single crochet and just continue doing that same thing we did for the first 2 all along the foundation chain. Insert your hook, yarn over, slide through the first loop on your hook, yarn over again, slide through the last 2 loops. Continue doing that for the rest of the chain. We are now at our last single crochet, so just do your single crochet as normal. And we have now worked 9 single crochet. Don't worry if your work starts bending a little bit, that is normal and it should be looking like that, but if it is not bent, don't worry. So now, since this is the last chain, we are going to be doing something special. So we are going to work 2 more single crochet into that last chain. So 3 single crochets in total from that single crochet we just did. So insert your hook into that same loop, yarn over and slide through the first loop on your hook, yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops. And then for the last time in this chain, insert your hook, yarn over and slide through the first loop, yarn over, slide through the last 2 loops. We have now did 3 single crochets in the last chain all together, and now you're just going to turn your work around to this side with the little swirls on it, I would say. Not the side with the V, just the side with these twisty thingies, I don't know what to call it. And we are going to be doing 3 double crochets in the first one of these horizontal bars. So the horizontal bars are just these 2 twisty thingies. So I'll show you one for example. So this is one of the twisty thingies on top. I'm just gonna call them twisties because I don't know what to call them. So we are going to insert our hook back. Now we are not going to be going into that first chain that we did 3 single crochets in. We're just going to quickly jump on to the second one. So to do a double crochet, it's different to single. So yarn over first and then insert your hook under those 2 twisties. Yarn over, slide through the first loop on your hook. Yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops. Yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops on your hook. We have now did 1 single crochet and we are going to be doing 2 more into the next one of those twisties. Sorry, I keep calling it twisties, I don't know what to call it. So yarn over, insert your hook under that twisty, so over here. Yarn over again, slide through the first loop on your hook. Yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops. Yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops. We have now did 2 double crochets and we are going to do our last one. So yarn over, insert your hook under the twisty, yarn over, slide through the first loop on your hook, yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops, yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops. We have now did 3 double crochets and we are going to do something new called a treble crochet. So I haven't actually did any of those stitches in my tutorials. Treble crochet is kind of weird, but to do a treble crochet, you're going to yarn over, but the weird thing is you're going to yarn over again and then insert your hook under one of the twisties, so the next twisty, yarn over again and slide through that first loop on your hook. You should now have 4 loops on your hook. It might be a little tight, but just try your best. Yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops. You should now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops again. Yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops. Gosh, that was a mouthful. So you're going to do that 5 more times. So yarn over, then yarn over again, insert your hook under the next twisty, yarn over, slide through the first loop on your hook, yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops again, yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops. We have now did 2 treble crochets or triple crochets. I like to call it treble because it sounds fancy, but you can call it whatever you want to. We have did 2, so we are going to do 3 more to make it 5. We have now did 3 treble crochets and we need to do 2 more So yarn over again, insert your hook under the next twisty, yarn over, slide through the first loop, yarn over, slide through the first 2 loops, yarn over, slide through the first 2 loops again, yarn over, slide through the last 2 loops. And now we are at our last treble crochet, yarn over again, insert your hook under the next twisty, yarn over again and slide through the first loop, yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops again, yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops. Well done if you did the treble crochet for the first time, because treble crochet is one of those crochet stitches where everything just feels tight even though your tension is alright. But anyway, for our last stitch we are going to do single crochet. So the last twisty, it's kind of hard to see, but you can just insert your hook under anywhere as long as you see 2 loops. So to do your single crochet, just insert your hook under that twisty, yarn over again, slide through the first loop on your hook, yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops. And we have did one side of our plumeria flower, and we are going to just mirror the opposite on the other side. So on the other side, you should see some V's. If you see some V's, you are doing the right thing. So under the first V over here, it's a bit hard to see. You're just going to do a single crochet by inserting your hook under the loop, yarn over, slide through the first loop on your hook, yarn over, slide through the last 2, and we have did our single crochet. Now that we have did our single crochet, we need to do 5 treble crochets into the next of the 5 V's. So by now I hope you guys know how to do a treble crochet, but I will do a slow demonstration so you can see how to do it. So yarn over again, insert your hook under the V, yarn over again, slide through the V, yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops again, yarn over for the last time and slide through the last 2 loops. We have did our first treble crochet on the opposite side, and we are going to be doing treble crochets for the next 4 stitches. Yarn over again, insert your hook under the V, yarn over, slide. We have now did 4 treble crochet, and we are going to be doing our last treble crochet under the next V. Don't worry if it looks a little bit gappy, we will smooch them to the side later on. So do your treble crochet by yarning over again, insert your hook under the next V, yarn over, slide through the V, yarn over, slide through the first 2 loops, yarn over, slide through the first 2 loops again, yarn over, slide through the last 2 loops. We have now did our 5 treble crochet, and we need to do our 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches. So do your double crochet by yarning over, inserting your hook under the V, yarning over again and sliding through the V, yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops, yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops. We have did our first double crochet and just double crochet into the next 2 stitches, yarn over, insert your hook under the next V, yarn over again and slide through the V, yarn over again, slide through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, slide through the last 2 loops. We have did 2 double crochets and we are going to be doing our last one under the next V. So yarn over, insert your hook under that next V, yarn over, slide through the first loop on your hook, yarn over again, slide through the first 2, yarn over, slide through the last 2 loops. We have now did our 3 double crochets and there must be 1 more V left over, and that's where we are going to be doing our single crochet. So for single crochet, just don't yarn over, insert your hook under the V, yarn over, slide through the V, yarn over again and slide through the last 2 loops. Perfect. Now we've got our flower. We just need to do something called a slip stitch. So to do a slip stitch, just, you know this V at the top, if you can see it, just insert your hook under that V, yarn over and slide through the V, then just slide through the loop already on your hook. We have got the first leaf of a flower now, so you'll just grab your scissors and just snip off a piece of your yarn and just pull your hook upwards until that yarn just goes through the loop, and now you can just tighten it, and we have got our first leaf of our flower. So if you got the hang of this, then you can definitely complete the rest of the flower. So to complete the rest of the flower, you will just need to repeat this process 4 more times until you have 5 petals, and I will be meeting you guys back once I have 5 petals. I have now got all 5 of my petals. They kind of look like a monstrosity right now, but you need to snip off all of these little dangling tails. So you can just snip them off right now, and I will meet you back once I've snipped all of these off. I have snipped all of the tails off my petals, and now I just need to colour them in. It is your choice if you want to colour them in, but I like to colour them in with like my marker because that's the style of Plumeria. So I'm just gonna get my markers right now. It seems like I've lost all my pink markers, so I'm just going to have to use this cream coloured one as a demonstration. So I'm just going to start colouring the inside of my Plumeria flower and just colour it in until the colour just gets there. I have coloured in 1 petal and this is how it looks like. Yes, it looks like a monstrosity because this is not the colour I wanted, but I will meet you guys again once I have coloured in all of the petals. I have coloured in all my petals and I don't have any glue right now. Well, I don't have the right type of glue to glue these together, but if you wanted to make the flower, you would just bunch all of these petals up together like so. And that's basically how you get the Plumeria flower, but you would obviously just glue all of these down like over here, and that's how you would get the flower. I hope you guys enjoy. Meet you guys in the next video.